Hi, Olivia here. In this video, I wanted to talk about journaling. I came across journaling myself just a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago. I started to really research it because I wanted a tool to help me grow, to help me develop my ideas. And at the beginning, I had a lot of misconception about it. I thought that people would just talk about themselves, talk about their life, their feelings, like a diary. But obviously, it turned out that it wasn't really the right definition when it comes to productivity anyway, in the world of productivity. So today I wanted to share with you maybe that particular definition, as well as the tools that I recommend when it comes to journaling. A lot of people would use pen and paper, which is fine if that's what you like. Myself, I feel like I don't feel very safe with pen and paper. I like to keep everything digitally. So today in Tutoriots web class, we're going to touch on journaling, like what's the definition of it in the productivity world, as well as the tools that you could use that I would recommend you to use if you want to take it all digital. So here is journaling in Tutoriots. So first, let's define what journaling is. For me, I will assimilate it more with a workbook, where you would really, it will be a place where you would put down your ideas, how you would develop them, and ask questions, important questions about your life and your productivity and what you want to be and what you want to do. And a journal is your life, really. In a notebook, it is your dreams, your goals, what you're trying to accomplish, who you're trying to please. Is it yourself? Is it other people? For me, I believe that human being needs to grow constantly. We always need to grow in every aspect of our lives. If we don't do that, I feel like we feel in a rut. We feel like we're stuck somewhere, and we feel useless, like we haven't achieved anything, like we don't contribute to anything. And I think that having a plan in your mind on how you're going to grow and how you're going to change your life is very, very important. And that's where journaling can really help you. But today I'm going to talk about the tools that I recommend you to use. I like to journal in a digital way. I feel like I need to keep a lot of data, and I need to have a copy of everything. If you like paper, that's fine. It's totally okay. Most people journal with pen and paper. It's not my thing. I don't like to keep things because I travel quite a bit, so I can't just keep taking books with me and pen. And I like the digital aspect of things. I like what applications can do for you nowadays to facilitate the way you work. So today I'm going to try to show you some tools that I use that I recommend you to use. The first tool that I would recommend you to check out is Together 3. I myself am looking into maybe switching from Evernote to Together 3. Together 3 is structured in a way that remind me a little bit of Evernote, but it is a very Mac-centric application. You have to use a Mac, and you have to love the Mac ecosystem, because everything is optimized to be used within the Mac ecosystem. You won't find it on the PC. It's harder to share notes because everything is synced on iCloud. But I'm using a Mac. I'm using an iPad Pro. I love the Mac ecosystem, so I don't mind that. What I really like about the application is that it is not limited. You can have as many notebook as you like. You can have as many documents as you like. And this is one problem that I had with Evernote, where you're quite limited in the amount of, first of all, notebooks you can have, the amount of notes you can have. Everything is quite limited. And even though the features are amazing, I like Together 3 because in some way it is a little bit more simple to use. yeah, it's less feature rich, but maybe sometimes that's what you need, because features can be distracting sometimes, right? But if you need to collaborate with other people, if you need to share a lot of notebooks, a lot of notes, obviously stick with Evernote. Evernote is a great application. I use it myself for other purposes than journaling. But I found that Together 3 is a great alternative if you're looking for something maybe that you don't have to pay monthly for. If you're a Mac user, if you want something more simple, you still have the ability to add tags and labels to your notes to be able to organize them as you like. You can encrypt note. It will integrate really well with your Mac ecosystem. You can share things. You can share your notes. You can see here through mail messages. AirMail, which is an application that I use. If you go to Safari, for example, let me go to Safari. If you go to Safari, you can just use the share menu here. And you can add a web page together. So you can do it, you can use it, you can add the page as a bookmark, as a web archive, as a web PDF. Every document can be added to Together 3. Office documents, pages, numbers, everything, pictures, videos, audio files, everything can be added to Together 3. And this is a great advantage when you're trying to journal and you're trying to study and use your journal as a workbook. I think it's what I look for in an application. The second application that I would recommend anyway is Evernote, obviously. Evernote is very feature rich. I mean, you can do almost everything with Evernote except having big files, which for me was my issue. But if for you prefer to maybe keep them on Dropbox or any other cloud storage, but you want to use Evernote with all the features that it has to offer, then go for Evernote. I used Evernote for a very, very long time. I loved it, but I like to have everything centralized. So for me, Together 3 seems to be an application that I'm looking to try, At the moment, I'm using Notebooks. I don't know if you heard of this application. Right now, I can't show it to you on the iPad version, which is the better version, but this is Notebooks. It has this kind of hierarchy notebook type of organization to it. You can have as many notebooks as you like, a little bit like Together 3 and OneNote. That's what you use. You can add colored label to your books to make sure that you differentiate them and you can see at a glance what you're working with. You can also have notebooks as task list, which is really cool. You can, for example, let's say that I have an idea for something, and I want to make things more actionable for work. So I have, for example, in Tutoriots channel, my YouTube channel, this is a list of videos that I want to create. And you can see that these are actually tasks. So each pages, I can add all the information that I need, but when I'm done, I can just check the check box and say, okay, I'm done with this video and move on to the next one. The iPad version of the application is really fantastic, and I really recommend you to have a look at it. This is the website, notebooksapp.com. Check out the iPad version of the application if you're using an iPad. I use an iPad. I use my iPad Pro a lot. And the features that you can find on the iPad Pro are outstanding. It's a very good application. However, they didn't yet quite upgrade the Mac version with all the features of the iPad version. So I'm waiting. But in the meantime, I need a little bit more horsepower when it comes to the application that I will use. So I do contemplate, the idea to move to Together 3 because the Mac version is a bit light for me. But the iPad version is amazing. I mean, I really recommend you to have a look at it. It has great features. You can merge notes, you can create ebooks, you can extract tasks from a document, and it will create a task list for you. There's very unique features about notebooks, and I think that if we give them the time to upgrade the Mac version, then we will have a really serious alternative to note apps like Evernote and OneNote. Now, why don't I recommend OneNote? Obviously, I know that a lot of you are using OneNote, and it's great. But for me, I had big problem when it comes to syncing notes from my computer to my iPad. And this is a deal breaker for me. I need to make sure that I can access my notes everywhere on all my devices. And with OneNote, it was really excruciating. And I don't understand, and I didn't figure out a way to make notes sync flawlessly. With notebooks, I never had an issue because it syncs through Dropbox, and the syncing feature is perfect. Together 3, I haven't tested it yet, and I can't test it before I buy it. That's so if you're using Together 3, let me know if there is any issue when it comes to syncing through iCloud. But notebooks, not a problem. It syncs flawlessly. Evernote, never had an issue with it either. So depending on what your criteria are when it comes to having a great notebooks and be able to use your journal as a workbook, when you can study, then you would choose the appropriate notebooks. So to summarize, I do recommend Evernote, Together 3, and notebooks for iPad and Mac. I cannot recommend OneNote because of the syncing issues. On the second part of the video, I will show you how I structure my notebooks. What are the segments that you should have in a notebook / journal / workbook, call it whatever you like. Then I will show you how to really dig deep into each segment. What should you actually look into to make changes about your life? So I hope that this video was helpful to you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave comments, give me a thumbs up if that was helpful. If you have other recommendation when it comes to digital notebooks, please list it down below. I love to discover new applications. In the meantime, have a nice, productive day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.